Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Texas Ranger Roundup by SwingBadder. Is that what we're calling it? The Roundup?
Weekly
Sounds
recap.
kind of nice, I guess. Weekly recap, much better. Texas Ranger Weekly Recap. There's quite a few things to say. But Aidan, walk us through how you're feeling about these Rangers after this pesky week where they faced off against the greatness of the Colorado Rockies and then your bitter Old Navy rivals, the Houston Astros.
Week started off great. It went exactly as we predicted. We went 5-2. Started off on Monday, beating the Rockies 2-1. We got the Wyatt Langford cycle bobblehead on that day. Very nice home game. We swept the Rockies. We only scored 14 runs, and even though we predicted that we would score 20. And two of those games were a lot closer than they needed to be, including the first game, which we won 2-1. There was bases loaded with one out in the top of the ninth. That was really scary, but we got a double play to end it. And then played the Astros 4 games. We took them 2-2, which is not bad. But we should have won the last game, which played on Sunday. We lost 3-4. However, we were ahead 3-1 going into the 7th, and our bullpen blew it. And it was especially bad because Jack Leiter desperately needed some wins. On his record, he had a great start. I think he pitched 5 innings, only allowed 1 run. And then the bullpen blew it. We lost that game. But then again, when your offense only scores 3 runs, how can you expect your bullpen to save you every single time? And that's kind of turning into a main story for the Rangers this year, is their starting pitching has been basically immaculate, and then their relievers get put under so much pressure, it's almost expected that eventually they're going to slip up one time, and we saw that on Sunday against the Astros.
Yeah, I think the biggest note for me was that they're only +9 on the week in playing the Rockies. And I know that doesn't sound like terrible. It's not a terrible stat, but when you play the Rockies, you tend to want to make your contracts count.
Yes.
Um,
You want to have some
and that didn't
offensive explosions.
it didn't quite happen for them. So, I mean, they really, when I looked at man,
I mean,
I was really hoping they would beat the Astros in the series. 2-2 against the Astros has been bad. I feel like the AL West is kind of starting to do what we thought. You have the 3 teams, the Seattle's starting to really take off. Houston's hovering and the Rangers are hovering. So if Seattle really starts putting some wins together, they can get some distance between the Astros as well as the Rangers. I feel the A's have finally cemented. They're kind of going down into that 4th place. And obviously the Angels as well are down there. So
shocking.
that's just been my take of what I'm looking at. Yeah, I know it's shocking. Although the Angels had a great week sweeping the Dodgers. If you would have swept the Dodgers, I think you'd be ecstatic, because the Rangers, I don't think have any chance against the Dodgers right now with the way they're hitting.
Yeah, that's accurate. And, with Seager still on the IL, dealing with that hamstring, which is becoming increasingly more concerning as time goes by, I'm getting a little concerned at the maximum potential of this offense, because at the start of the year, we all thought that this offense would have massive potential, especially with Peterson and Berger in the offseason signings. And so far, you've had injuries and inconsistencies with Langford and Seager. Semien, an interesting stat I found out a few days ago, out of all qualified hitters over the past 365 days, so like the past about 2 years, for players that have played as a starter, he is number 144 out of 145 in terms of offensive production. So out of 145 qualified guys, he has been number 144 ranked, which is horrible for a guy like Semien, who we are paying a ridiculous amount of money, and is supposed to be one of the all-stars on our team. And instead, right now, he has a negative 0.4 WAR and batting 174.
Yeah, I don't think the WAR is accurate. I think it's worse than that. I think WAR is very generous on the negative side, to be honest with you. When I look at WAR, I'm always amazed at how they feel some people are positive versus negative. But yeah, he was your big signing out of Toronto, and you've locked him up. I'm trying to get the stats on this. How many more years do you have with that contract?
I think we have
this is really
3 more.
This is really becoming a SwingBadder contract extraordinaire. I mean, when we're putting together our rankings of contracts, and Seager's got a long deal, but he's been worth it. I mean, you won a World Series, and in all reality,
and Semien helped in that World Series run too.
He was great. He was great in the postseason. He delivered for you guys. So that's where I'm like, I kind of I don't know how to deal with this with how he's playing right now. It just seems like uninspired baseball. I don't know. You watch him, so I mean, you tell me what you're seeing.
When you look at Simeon, you kind of see like a war-hardened veteran. You know, everyone kind of expected last year that at some point midway through the season, he would kind of start looking like his old self, and he sort of did that. I think he hit like 20 home runs last year, which isn't horrible, but in comparison to, I think in 2019 or something, he hit like 40 home runs. But this year, he's only hit 3 home runs so far in 47 games. He's batting 170, and his
Oof.
offense is worse than last year, and that it was not good last year. So we're all waiting for the veteran to figure things out because that's kind of what veterans are good at, and he has not done that so far. And I really hoping he doesn't turn into a Javier Baez or a Anthony Rendon.
I mean, you can talk about Javier Baez. He played really good this year for
He
the
is
Detroit
insane.
Tigers. In fact, I think you would prefer if Marcus started playing like that, hitting some clutch hits. I can't remember what clutch hits he's gotten for you guys. I mean, I know the World Series he did it. I remember him coming up clutch then, but so was Corey. You had a bunch of people getting clutch hits.
I know I went to a Rangers game this week, the first game against the Astros, and there's kind of a legacy with Garcia now because of that what he did in that postseason. You know, whenever he comes up to bat or his name is announced, the crowd goes wild, and you don't really get that with guys like Simeon anymore, which is a little unfortunate, but it's kind of just the reality of the fans right now.
So the fans still remember what he did, but not what Simeon did.
Basically, Simeon didn't have as many
How
explosive moments, but he's always been there, and I think that kind of reflects his personality as a player too. You don't really see Simeon do a lot of major celebrations or flashy plays. He's just kind of there grinding away.
Well, you got to see a 1-0 game. I bet it was like a 2-hour matchup there.
Oh
DeGrom
yes,
doing DeGrom things,
two
and
hours on
Texas
Monday.
doing what Texas doing what Texas does, which is whenever DeGrom pitches, nobody scores runs. Who did the Astros have going for him?
They had their Hunter Brown, who is like one of the best pitchers in MLB right now. And the interesting thing is the Astros are first in Major League Baseball for WHIP, and the Rangers are second. So it's kind of expected that when you have DeGrom versus Hunter Brown going, you get a 1-0 type game. But again, it could have gone either
Yeah,
way.
you're not getting with those two teams in a low whip. You're not getting a lot of opportunities, not a lot of base runners, and that's I think the reason why the Astros and Rangers are able to win a lot of games, even if they don't score a lot, because your opportunities are so few and far between. I think I just was a little disappointed when I look back at this week because, God, I was really hoping that you guys would just really open it up against the Rangers. You did at the end, 8-3. But the Houston series you're talking about, you won 1-0, lost 3-6, won 5-2, lost 3-4. So that's as even as it gets. I mean, it's a straight 2-2 split, same amount of runs allowed, basically same amount of runs given up. I think it was an even. Yeah, you each won 1-run game and you each lost a 3-1 game. So that's as even as it gets. And the Rockies, started rough, 2-1, but
I mean,
4-1 felt a little better, and then 8-3 felt pretty great. So you're feeling good going into Houston. So I think, sadly, Houston is not going to go quietly into the good night. I know you were hoping they went away, and
we're all waiting
with
for that
that
to
kind of
happen.
pitching, you're not going away.
Yeah. I mean, we're all just kind of waiting for that series where the Rangers get a sweep against a really good team and they score, 25 runs. And we've kind of been on the upward trend in terms of the offense. And, we saw a little bit of that against the Rockies. We scored 12 runs in those final 2 games. But against the Astros, it kind of went back down again. We scored 1, 3, and 5, and then 3 again. So that's 3 games which we scored 3 or fewer runs. And now we're coming off of that and playing against the Yankees, who are basically leading MLB in every single offensive statistic. So regardless of how well DeGrom, Eovaldi, or Maile pitches, we're going to have to score 5 runs if we want to win.
So yeah, looking forward to this week. You're facing off against the Yankees. Yeah, it's like the Dodgers of the Dodgers of the AL. If you look at the Yankees season, they have 266 runs scored, 176 runs allowed to the Texas Rangers, which is 166 runs scored, so they're 100 shy of the Yankees, and you've allowed 165 runs to their 176. So the pitching is somewhat even. The hitting is nowhere close. So something's got to give in this series. So
Yeah.
why don't you walk us through this week and tell me what your thoughts are as we so you face off against the Yankees first?
Yes, we play in New York first 3 games, and then we get a nice 3 game set against the White Sox. So that will be fun. My hopes is that in this 6 game stretch, we're able to go, I want to say 4-2. We take 1 of 3 from the Yankees. I just realistically, with how this offense has been playing, if the pitching is even between these two teams, I mean, I just don't see the Rangers suddenly having an offensive breakout against a team like this. I mean, they did it against Detroit. They scored, 17 runs in those 3 games, which is very nice against the Tigers. But it's going to be difficult to do that. So I think realistically, we're taking 1 of 3 from the Yankees, and then we sweep the White Sox because they're the White Sox.
And sadly, the White Sox look somewhat representable in comparison to the terrible Rockies you played against. So you're hoping to get a sweep against the White Sox. The White Sox have actually not played that terrible over the last 10. I don't know if you've been watching them since all of this has happened. They're 4-6 of their last 10. The Texas Rangers are 7-3 in their last 10, which is actually bodes really well for them. The Yankees and Rangers are both 7-3 in their last 10. So in all reality, this is a good matchup on paper. But to your point, the Rangers hitting is suspect, and a sweep is cautionary.
Yes.
No one's thinking the Rangers are going to sweep the Yankees, but the Yankees sweeping the Rangers could happen, especially if their bats are hitting the way they can hit.
And I mean, again, basically the way we've been winning these games lately has been the hot bat of one guy. I mean, in the game I went to when we beat the Astros 1-0, it was Berger with a home run. And then I think in the next game, Berger hit another home run. And then when we beat the Astros 5-1, I think, Young and Smith had a home run. Or it was Young and Langford. And then we played the Astros the next game, and Langford hit another home run. So in those 4 games, it was basically Langford and forget his name. Langford and Berger carrying the lineup. And, against the Yankees, that entire team is going to be hitting the ball. So our entire team has to be hitting the ball if we want to beat them, just quite simply. And the Rangers have not done that this season, and especially since we don't have Seager, that's going to be 10 times harder.
What's the paper saying about Seager there and for the recovery, or what are they saying? I mean, I know he's on a 15-day again DL or IL. Nope, they got him on a 10-day injured list right now. Are they saying they're hoping he comes back? Are they telling you anything positive?
I don't think I would expect him back until after this series against the Yankees is done. But I think the bigger issue is just the fact that it's been something that's been bothering him for quite a while now, because it's been an issue all season at this point. And it was also an issue towards the end of last season. So hoping that this isn't some more major underlying injury that could set him out for 6 months, because that is the last thing our offense needs right now. But hopefully he's able to come back and just kind of move on from it.
Your pitching matchups are really favorable for the Rangers because you have Corbin going in the first game, who's actually quite well this year. It's really quite remarkable with his comeback. Maybe he just needed that Texas drinking water, or that sweet tea you guys drink in Texas, getting away from Washington. But he's 3-2 with a 3.35 ERA going up against Warren of the Yankees with a 4.61 ERA and a 2-2. And then you pitch both of your aces. So listen to these matchups. You have DeGrom against Yarbrough, who was from Tampa, but now he's on the Yankees. He's got a 3.7 ERA. Then you have Rondon against Evaldi. So these are some great. This is a great series.
Yes.
You should actually be excited about it. I know they haven't scored a lot, but it's
an opportunity.
These two teams, the Yankees are really good, and the Rangers are no slouch when it comes to the pitching. So I know you're in the small porch of right field for the Yankees. So there's some oopsie home runs that occur. Maybe the Rangers get a couple oopsies, and everyone feels a lot more excited about hitting.
DeGrom and Evaldi pitching, if we can shut down the Yankees, then at that point, everyone starts to realize this Rangers pitching staff is for real top 5 in Major League Baseball, if that wasn't confirmed already. And if we're able to score some runs against these guys, these pitchers aren't that bad. 3.7 ERA for Yarbrough and Carlos Rodon, 3.17. If we can score some runs against these guys, knock them up a little bit, we'll definitely send a message that, we're for real as we play against the Yankees, one of the most dominant teams right now. It's definitely something that we need. Definitely something that could get the fans excited.
Well, you have two pitchers going against Judge that I really want to see. DeGrom against Judge will be great. That's a wonderful matchup, and Evaldi against Judge as well. One of the things, Evan Carter, I guess he's on the injured list. I don't think that hurts you one way or the other. He just made it back, and now he's going to be weeks off of the away from the team. He wasn't really doing a whole lot, but he's strained his quad. He's going to miss a couple weeks for the Rangers. Not again. The bigger news is when is Seager going to come back, and then the next question isn't just when he comes back, but how long can he stay back with his hamstring?
Yes.
Like how risky, how serious, what are we talking about? Like, what did this look like?
And it's a little unfortunate, too, because now that Seager is dealing with this, he's almost kind of turned into the classic old man baseball player, where he no longer becomes an everyday starter, and he only comes in for the important games, and, he'll play 2 or 3 games in a series, which is fine. But with a guy like that in the lineup and an offense that's in need, Seager really should be playing, 9 games out of 10, but I think with I don't want to say he's getting old because I think he's only 30, but
he's not getting old, and you have him for a long
yes.
time. His biggest thing, I disagree with you saying he's going to start playing old man. I think the biggest thing is you want him to be 100% healthy by the All-Star break.
Yes, for sure.
You can't keep having him come back and then re-injure, come back, re-injure, come back, re-injure. That's my concern because that's what happened. Came back, re-injured, now he's back again. I think you just hold him out until he's 100% and you feel he can play and do the things that you want him to do. And then by after the All-Star break, he should be 100%, no problems. Right now, the concern is you bring him back, something happens. And in baseball, that's so easy with a hamstring. And I mean, again, I'm speaking to the choir. Every baseball player knows this. A hamstring injury and telling a baseball player, hey, nurse it, come back easily. These guys didn't make it to the big league by playing easily. I mean, they're all in or not all in. So it's hard to navigate that. In my humble opinion, I just think it's hard to tell him to take it easy, but it's also hard for him to take it easy.
Yeah. And especially since Bruce Bochy, the manager, he very much trusts a lot of the veterans on the team. I mean, he said so, in the case of Simeon, with his offensive underperformance over the past year and a half, he's just said, just got to trust the process. He's a guy that knows what he's doing. He'll work out a bit, which seemed like a wise thing to say at first, and now it's we're reaching a breaking point.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to say because he's not wrong. He's not wrong about that. These players going up to the minor leagues, but the difference between a player in the minors, especially when you talk about young kids, a guy in his 20s versus someone as they go into their 30s, I think a lot of these things, the trainers have to get involved. You have to have somebody there who's an advocate to understand how to heal properly. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have him in the second half of the season, that's detrimental.
Yes. And I mean, we were coming into the season being projected as one of the best teams in the American League. And that kind of comes with some playoff expectations. And if Seager's not there, that's one of the, backbone pieces of our lineup just completely gone. And there are guys that I know will be willing to step up to fill that hole.
What were his stats last year? I know last year was kind of like an off year for the Rangers, but his last 2 years, what are you looking at? What is the production you typically get from Seager when you're looking at that? Because I think that's the thing that you're counting on is he's one of your elite offensive players. You just don't replace that.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if is he a 40 home? Yeah, go ahead.
Last year he had 30 home runs, and he's pretty much been a 30 home run guy in years that he's played. A majority of games he's hit 33, and then 30 home runs from 2022 to 2024. And this year he's hit 6 so far in 26 games, so he's, about relatively on pace. He bats anywhere from 250 to 330 And the batting average is all over the place. But if you're hitting 30 home runs, that doesn't really matter. His OPS has also kind of been all over the place, but his defense has been very good. But we really need that power from Seager, and he definitely delivers it. And that's kind of what we're looking for with him.
Kind of surprised. I thought he'd have a couple 40 home run seasons in there, but I'm used to. I guess I'm still having flashbacks of the World Series and him putting one in the upper deck. I feel like that ball still hasn't landed, so I guess that counts for 40 home runs in my mind.
And he did hit.
Yeah, I bet you the Texas fans
2023 run.
That's especially if you're getting 30 home runs on the season and then you go on a run in the playoffs. And you hit 6.
Yeah,
that's crazy against really great pitching. That's the other thing is he's not pitching. He's not facing the terrible teams there. He's facing the best teams ever.
And one of those home runs was
so you're
bottom
hoping
of the 9th against your Diamondbacks that first game of the World Series.
I know you ruined a closer's life. That's what you did. You took away his family can't eat. They have no food now. They're homeless because of what happened in that World Series. So you're hoping for 4-2. Is that your heart or your head?
That is, I'm honestly going to say that's both this week. My heart and my head are in the same place this week.
All right, 4-2 is what your hope is for the Texas Rangers. I'm going to say 4-2, possibly 5-1, because I like your pitching is in the right place this week. If you had DeGrom and Eovaldi against the White Sox and you had your other pitchers going up against the Yankees, I think I 4-2 would be a little more of a stretch. I think you have a chance to go 5-1 to see what these bats do. I would love to see a 4 games tilt with the Yankees. I'll accept the 3-1. I'll accept 3. I'll accept the terms that you have offered me, Major League Baseball, but I would like it if you could consider a 4-game tilt in the near future with these two teams, because this is well deserving. DeGrom back in New York pitching against the Yankees for the Rangers. I don't think that's going to get enough hype because he's not a Met, but that's okay.
We always
it's got enough hype here. Especially if 2-hour ball game. I mean, did you even have a drink? You're like, hey, I want to get something. Oh, dang it, we're in 2 innings. Stop getting any food. We have to stay in our seats the whole game.
I mean, he didn't allow a run around the whole game. It's crazy. Had a hot dog at the beginning, and then you just sit, flies by.
Well, that's why you picked him up, and it's good to see him back pitching, for goodness sakes. I mean, you want talent like that playing in the major leagues. So we'll see how the Rangers do. You got 4-2. I think they should have a winning week. I would be utterly surprised if they end up on the loser note of this. For those that want to watch or read any of the stories, Aidan wrote a great article about Judge Ohtani and some interesting stats on battersports.com. You also can see the Batter 5, which the Texas Rangers were not even close to this week. Well, I want to thank the Orioles for winning that one.
Oh, yes.
And then look forward to your write-up, Aidan, on the Rangers. And I would probably I'd like to see your recap of the Yankees Rangers series. I think that'd be a fun read from your perspective.
Of course.
Any final thoughts for your fans out there?
Well, Garcia and Langford are definitely starting to look like old Garcia and Langford. They've both totaled for 15 home runs right now, which is pretty decent. And they also lead the team in RBI with Garcia at 24 and Langford at 20. So both of those guys have definitely started on the upward trend, which is good to see. So there is definitely some hope that this offense will be able to do some damage to this Yankees pitching staff.
I'd also like to see your runs for your team start to bleed away from the runs against.
That would also be nice.
That would be nice. Well, a man can dream. A man can dream. Well, that's our SwingBadder wrap-up for the Texas Rangers. As always, I'm your host, Brendan, and that is our Texas Ranger insider, Aidan. Thanks again for your insight. Glad you were able to go see a game. We got a lot more baseball ahead of us, and the Rangers are certainly going to be in the mix, I think, for the foreseeable, much long future with their pitching.
Oh, yes.
All right, thanks, everybody. You guys have a great evening and great talking with everyone.